Today we are talking about offerings, that gift giving process we do to honor the gods. An offering is based on the gift giving cycle of reciprocity, but it is not based on expectation. We give out of respect and love. Foods are a common offering. We might raise our glasses to a god and say, "Hail!" Or we may pour a libation out at an outdoor altar place. Beer and wine are popular offerings, but non alcoholic drinks work just as well. We are making an offering to the gods to show we love and honor them. And during a prayer or ritual, we may ask for something, but the offering is not done because we expect something in return. You may be familiar with the term reconstructing. As pagans, we are reconstructing an ancient religion. We look at the ancients and see how did they do things. We begin to build a foundation based on that, but modeled to fit a modern world. So that said, we do live in a very different time from our pagan ancestors, and we need to adjust our faith into our modern world. Most of us don't go hunt or find an animal to sacrifice. Ironically, I did live in this off grid cabin in the woods for over 20 years where I grew much of my own food, but I didn't sacrifice animals as my way to appease the gods. For one thing, I was working as a wildlife rehabilitator, so my job was saving them. Hi, I'm Amy, and welcome to my channel. I'm a lifelong pagan and environmental educator and science teacher. So we adjust our religious life to the circumstances we live in. And in modern times, that mostly means purchasing food at a store. I now live in a more urban area to be closer to my children, and my practice has changed to fit that environment. Many of our offerings will be made on our altars. Some, like this one, are quite simple and a springtime offering to the Earth Mother. Some, like my altar to Bastet, are more complex and are part of a ritual. Here I have very specific items for honoring Bastet, including perfume, catmint, honey, turquoise, and candles in her colors. I chose these items based on what I know about her and my ongoing relationship with her. Learning about the deities is a big step towards knowing what offerings they may appreciate. You may have a living connection. If you are making an offering to one of your ancestors, a traditional family dish would be good. In the last video, I talked about not putting prayer in a box. Well, in this video, I want to mention not putting offerings in a box, figuratively. Again, think about who you are honoring. You can have fun with your offerings. This unique vase holds dandelions, and I placed a frog in the middle, and voila! I have a perfect offering for the goddess Haget. Haget is the Egyptian deity of fertility and germination. I put this together, and I take a few minutes to acknowledge and thank her and to extend my gratitude to her with this offering. So Eric, my Team Norse expert and writer, went mountain climbing with friends, and they dedicated the climb to Thor. Thor is a god who enjoys pushing his physical limits and contests. So this was an appropriate offering for him. Eric is the author of our book, The Complete Guide to Become a Norse Pagan, which I'll link below. Offerings can be words, reading or reciting poetry, for instance. Poetry is beloved by the gods, especially Odin, Apollo, and the muse Arato. Creating works of art. Giving yourself creatively is very appreciated by the deities. You might dedicate a piece of jewelry to a god or goddess and wear it in their honor. Giving of yourself and dedicating that time to a deity. This is also a great way to include children and teach them about building community and service to the gods. You might dedicate service to the Abenaki god Glooskab, who symbolizes kindness and taking care of people. Or taking some time to help out at an animal shelter. Many local shelters need people to walk dogs to give them some exercise and one on one special attention. Dedicate this time to a deity, such as the Egyptian god Anubis, the Greek goddess Hecate, or the Mesopotamian goddess Gula. So I've gotten a bit sidetracked because I wanted you to have some real life examples. Ultimately, how you pray, how you give offerings, and how you worship is up to you. I hope this information is helpful thus far. If it is, please boop that like button. So, we've talked about making offerings on an indoor altar, but obviously, as pagans, we desire to spend time in nature. You may have a dedicated outdoor altar or just make an offering when you are hiking or camping. I have a fondness for the Celtic goddess Danu and will often bring something extra for her when I'm hiking near a creek. So, if you are putting something in or on the water, make sure it is safe for the environment. Obviously, we don't want this to happen, so we need to think about how we can dispose of offerings. I do have a video called Eco Friendly Offerings for Pagan Gods, which I invite you to watch next. Leaving outdoor offerings for the gods is common in countries around the world. In modern Bali, it's customary to leave an offering of food, flowers, and spices outside on a small bamboo plate. Food offerings that are left on the street are done so with the knowledge it helps homeless people, stray dogs, and monkeys. I do want to caution, though, on what foods to leave outside. While bread is a common gift for the gods, it is actually bad for wildlife. Ducks and geese in urban areas get a nutritional disease called angel wing because they get so much white bread fed to them. So we don't just leave offerings for the gods, we leave them for nature spirits and the fae. Making a dedicated space for them is always appreciated. Taking the time to honor nature honors the gods as well. I hope this video has given you some ideas on how to honor the deities. Thank you for spending time with me today, and as always, have a very witchy day.